Okay, on to week 2. We're on Monday the 8th. We're on upper body, 2 parts. We have 5, 6, or 7 rounds, traveling push-ups, tricep kickbacks, skull crushers, alternating single chest flies, and part 2 is plank holds for time. Traveling push-ups. I always do these kneeling because I don't have the best wrists, but you can do them in regular style as well. Tricep kickbacks. Skull crushers. Alternating single chest flies. Oh, and then plank holds. Plank hold, you can do elbow or you can do high plank, okay? So, traveling push-ups. What I was saying was, because this is a lot more movement than a regular push-up, and I just started doing regular push-ups not that long ago because I don't have good wrists. If you also don't have good wrists, you're probably gonna do this kneeling. So it's up to you. You can try it, but probably a lot of you will end up doing it kneeling. So you're gonna be kneeling. So whenever you do a kneeling push-up, you don't wanna be on your kneecap. You wanna shift and roll forward onto the front of your knee, not on your kneecap, okay? So on the front of your knee. So instead of a regular push-up where you just go up and down, you're gonna be traveling. So this is gonna use more of your chest than chest and back. So instead, you're gonna kind of have your hands in the middle, and then one arm is gonna come way out, kind of diagonal back, push up, and then this hand is gonna take this hand's spot in the middle, and this hand's gonna go diagonal back, okay? So you're actually doing your push-ups like this and like this instead of just straight, okay? So the turning out is gonna put more emphasis on your chest and on a different part of your back than if you were to just be doing it straight. So this is what it looks like. Hold on, this is something is crooked here. It's not where I want it. Okay, that's better. That's, I think my chair's just not in the right spot. I'm very particular about things always being in the same spot. Okay, that's better, that's better. Okay, so from the front, it's gonna look like this. Okay, so you can see it's diagonal back, diagonal back, diagonal back. And I know you're gonna be thinking a lot about that part, but you still wanna make sure that your butt isn't up when you're doing it, or your hips aren't sunken down when you're doing it, okay? So that one's kind of tough. Tricep kickbacks, this is another one of my favorite exercises. So you're gonna be in your bent over stance, and we're doing triceps, which is the back of your arm, the other side of your bicep. Get in your bent over stance, put your weights up like this by your side, and you're just gonna kick back, return, kick back, return, kick back, return, okay? Very simple. Where you should feel it is right here. So see how there's like a dimple that pops up when I kick back? You can see the back of my arm moving. That's what you want to do. So if you're doing these and you're not feeling it on the back side of your arm, it could be that you're not hitting high enough, you're not extending enough, or it could be that you're not putting enough emphasis on the back and you're pulling it in too much, almost like a bicep curl. So you want to go back, return, back. So all the emphasis should be on the back part. Our skull crushers, this can be done with 1 or 2 weights. So I'm gonna first show you with 2. This is gonna be more advanced only because you're not holding the same weight. So each arm's moving independently, but you have to make sure that they move together, which is the tough part, okay? So you're gonna have them up above your head, and you're going to slow lower at the elbow, so it's gonna drop at the elbow, and they're gonna come down beside your head, so by your ears, press up. This is also working your triceps, the back of your arm. Slow lower by the sides of your ears, press up. Slow lower, press up, okay? Now the easier version is where both hands are holding the same weight, and when you lower, it's gonna come to like the top of your head now. Up. Slow lower, up. So the reason why it's harder to have one in each hand is because your weaker hand might be going first, and then your stronger hand might be pressing up first. So they're not going to be moving together. So you don't want that to happen. So if you feel like that's happening, do the one way, the long way. And then alternating single chest fly. So we did our reverse flies, which look like this. Now we're doing our real flies, which works your chest, which looks like this. Although in this version, we're doing single. So you're gonna hold both up in the air, and you're gonna lower one side, return, lower the other side. So we're alternating single, okay? Now, with these, when you lower that arm, your arm should be bent, okay? So when you hit the ground, your weight and your forearm should not be on the ground, okay? And then come back up, your arm kind of straightens out. As you go down, your arm's gonna bend. As you come up, it straightens out. As you go down, it's going to bend, okay? And the reason for this is because you don't wanna pull, if you were to do this wrong, and especially if you're using a heavier weight, you could very easily like dislocate something in your shoulder because of the way that the weight is gonna pull and drag down, especially if your arm is extended like this. It's just not, and if it's dropping below, like if you were on a bench, like you normally would do these, and it's dropping below the bench, it's very easy to get injured. So you wanna make sure that, I mean, obviously we're not on a bench, we're on the ground, so that can't happen, but just for good form and good tip and good everything, you always want that arm to be bent when it comes out, okay? It should never be straight, or again, you could injure your elbow probably really easily. It needs to look like this, not like this, okay? Like even just doing that makes me feel like something's gonna pop out. So do not do that. And then lastly, we have our plank hold. So again, you can do elbow plank or high plank, and this is gonna be on a timer. So we're gonna do between 20 and 30 seconds. You could pick 23, you could pick 27, doesn't matter. We're all gonna rest for 20 seconds, and then RPT stands for rounds per Tabata. So if you look at your timer app, you're gonna see rounds per Tabata. So it's 4 because we're doing it 4 times. So you're either going to hit your elbow plank, which is gonna look like this, or your high plank, which is up on your hands. Either way, whichever plank that you're doing, you need to have your back neutral. So your butt should not be piked. It shouldn't be sunken down. It should be nice and neutral, okay? And that is your Monday the 8th.